the zeitgeist has changed and people love foreign films. They love different cultures. So when Edward in Malta, our producer, came to us and said, we would love to do this in German, Ian and I jumped at the chance and thought this would be perfect and authentic. And, it really is a story told from the other side.
How hard is it to take and adapt something that's already been written? Because people, even if they might have seen the original or might not think there's as much work with something where there's already a source.
It's incredibly challenging, and especially with a book like All Quiet on the Western Front. It's almost like excerpts of a diary, absolutely beautiful prose, but there's no real through line of actions. So to find something that is cinematic and can really appeal to a modern audience and yet still, pay respects to the ultimate themes of the book was very, very challenging. And it took Ian, myself, my husband Simon helped too. It took us a long time to really figure out the story and put it together. And then when our wonderful director, Edward Berger, came along, he infused it again with that lovely German sensibility and, some more aspects from the book. So it really was a collective journey to get it right for the screen.
And it's in German, it's not in English. And tell me why that was important to you.
So it's been a curious journey, of course. We optioned the materials 16 years ago. And back then, of course, getting a foreign film off the ground was very challenging. To raise the finance for a film of this magnitude was virtually impossible. But of course, the landscape has changed with streamers like Netflix and what have you. And not only that, films like Parasite winning Best Picture, the zeitgeist has changed and people love foreign films. They love different cultures. So when Edward in Malta, our producer, came to us and said, we would love to do this in German, Ian and I jumped at the chance and thought this would be perfect and authentic. And, it really is a story told from the other side. So it's incredibly
Do you speak
important.
German, or did you have to get it translated?
We got it translated, and of course our director is a writer on the script as well, so he translated it, which was perfect. So he really could get across all of our sentiments and not detract from that.
I mean, it sounds like something that actually you couldn't have made without the streamers like Netflix.
No, not at all. And Netflix have been absolutely incredible. They're so supportive of the creator and of the artist. We could not have asked for anything more. And the team behind this project, they're so passionate about it. And they've fought for us all the way.
Now, in terms of women putting other women's achievements to shame, you're not actually a screenwriter necessarily by your day job. You're an athlete.
Yeah, so I've been a professional triathlete and a five-time world champion for the last 15 years. So I've spent the majority of my career doing crazy stuff all over mountains, lakes, rivers, seas, trails. But alongside that, of course, I studied my undergraduate and graduate in film and theatre. So that's always been a deep passion of mine when my sporting life was going to sort of end and slow down a little bit as I got older.
Now, the story that we've been kind of trailing is that you actually won a triathlon with a broken arm in order to fund part of what you needed to do in order to get this off the ground. Like, I get the running part, maybe even the cycling part, but how do you swim with a broken shoulder?
It's very difficult, let me tell you. And I had some great sports psychology from my husband. And we just decided that, listen, I'm very good at one arm drills. So why not just get in there, kick like the clappers, give it a shot and see what happens. And I think that's kind of the mantra of my life, right? Just thinking outside the box about how to make things happen. So I ended up coming out the water 12 minutes behind the leader and fought my way back to first by the end of the race. So never say never.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you were mostly doing the kicking, because presumably your legs were fatigued. I mean, to be honest, I could talk to you just about that, but I have to talk to you about the film.